All right, everybody, here we go. My name is Swole. I am doing a kind of a tutorial, but I'm basically about to make a Pro Tools recording template from scratch. So this might be a relatively long video, but not too long. Hopefully we can fly through it real quick. And I'm gonna try to answer every kind of question that I can think of along the way. If you have any questions at any point, down below, comment, ask the questions, I'll answer it, or I might make another video, or I might do a Twitch stream and answer all these questions on Twitch one day and then upload that to YouTube also. But yeah, we're gonna get into it. And if you're feeling the energy and the vibe and what we got going on over here, like and subscribe, fuck with your boy, and here we go. Let me switch the camera around. Blow. So far, all I have set up is a Q. This is a Q mix that you guys are hearing everything out of, but also the artist will be hearing everything out of this. This is so I can create a separate mix for what I want to hear in the control room and what the artist wants to hear in the booth. Sometimes they want their vocals louder, lower, don't want to hear their vocals at all, whatever the case may be. This is so they can do that and I can still do what I do in here. So I just got a master. It's got a master fader, my Q, and then my talkback. Also, this Mute-O-Matic plugin is pretty cool. It's a free plugin also. If you press play, it basically cuts off all the sound, what I'm saying? It's like a sidechain compressor or something to the play button. You know what I'm saying? Whenever you press play, you can't hear anything going on in talkback. So I don't have to turn on my mic on and off. And then I just got a little compressor before it, just so if anything goes crazy in here, it gets too loud, it's a little compression on it. Then I got this, this is how I'm talking to you guys through this Restream plugin with this Blue Cat patchwork. And here we go. Let's get into it. So first thing I'm gonna do is create some buses. So I'm gonna Control Shift to bring up this new track window, create a stereo aux track. That's gonna be my pre-master. I'm gonna create stereo aux track. Let me just allow a bunch of these stereo aux tracks. I'm gonna do instrumental, and I'm gonna do vocals. I'm gonna do lead vocals. I'm going to do B vocals. Do another one, stereo aux. We got vocal effects. Sounds about right. Okay. Move this back over here. And now I'm gonna get my color scheme on. I like things to be certain colors. So we're gonna make the pre-master this kind of pinkish color. The instrumental, we'll make it that color. Vocals, we'll go like that color. Lead vocal. I want the B vocals to be that color. I want the lead vocals to be like I'm gonna do this color for the vocals. I'm gonna do like that color for the lead vocals. I'm gonna do this color for the vocal effects. So now this is just for recording to a two-track beat. So I'm gonna have these solo saved actually. I'm gonna do my routing and all that kind of stuff later so that it makes more sense, I think. But so far we got the pre-master right here. That's where everything is going to be routed to. Then we got the instrumental. The beat's going to be routed to the instrumental aux. all the vocals are going to be routed here. All the lead vocals are going to be routed here. All of the ad-libs and background vocals and stacks and all that kind of stuff will be routed here. And then all of the vocal effects will be routed here. So next, I'm going to need a stereo audio track for the beat. I'm going to need a mono audio track for the recording track. I'm going to need some mono audio tracks for like when I'm dragging the recordings down to the to the appropriate track. So let's go H lead, H lead, and then I'm gonna just do 2 of those, and then we're gonna do V lead, do two of those. And then I'm gonna do a aux for all of the lead vocals. So stereo, aux, I'm just gonna name that leads. And then we're gonna do the same thing for the ad-libs with 2 of these. And actually we'll do 4 of those for the ad-libs. Then we'll do a stereo, aux, I'll call that ad-libs. And then we'll do backgrounds. We'll do 6 for backgrounds. Go BGs. And we'll make a stereo aux called BG vocals. And let's get to it. All right. So now we got all of these loaded up. First thing, I'm just gonna make these have no input for now. And now I'm going to do some color coding. So for the beat, I like the beat to be red. I like for this recording track to be pink. I like for these lead vocals to be this purple. I like for the ad-libs to be something like this. These backgrounds. What am I feeling? I'm kind of feeling this kind of color right now. And then all of these. Oops. I like to be this color. Whoa, it's still an input here. No input. No input. And to make all of these like, I don't know, the same, like, you select all of these, select one, hold down shift, and you go right here. Then I hold shift and alt, and then I just hit no input, and it applies the same thing to all of these, if that makes sense. So now I got my leads, my ad-libs, my background vocals. What else do we need? We need some motherfucking goddamn, what else do we need? We need some effects, some vocal effects. So we're gonna do some stereo aux tracks. We're gonna do a doubler. We're gonna do, let's go 2 stereo. We're gonna do a delay. Actually, I wanna do a quarter note delay, a slap, and another stereo delay for the ad-lib, so we'll go 3. And then I want to do some reverb, so go stereo, aux track, and I want just 2 reverbs. We'll do 2 reverbs. Reverb. As you can see, this is gonna be very basic. This is how I set it up though, for real. Like, this is very, very basic, but this is legitimately how my recording sessions are set up. So I can be very, very fast. No complex crazy stuff going on. We getting good sounds, everything a vibe. And I use different delays and different delay times, so I don't know, that's why I just have delay 1. I've seen people sometimes they do like quarter note delay, eighth note delay, half note delay. I just change the time to a quarter note. If I want it to be a quarter note, I change the type of reverb if I want it to be a hall, a plate, or whatever. But anyway, we're gonna solo save all of these. Blow, blouse, so save these two. And then let me change the color here. I like this color. And that is pretty much the structure of everything. So now we're gonna do some routing. So I'm gonna start from the beginning. My pre-master, going to the pre-master. My instrumental, it's the instrumental, the vocal, vocals. I already have these. This is my template, you know what I'm saying? So like I already have these set up in my IO. But what you would do is just, you know, the next available track, you just click on it and then you would rename it. You would, you know what I'm saying? For example, say if this was gonna be my vocal effects, I would just click on that and then I would rename this vocal effects like that. But I already have these set up because this is my template. No input for the beat. For the recording, this is my, you know, recording right here. Mic in. This is my input for my interface. It's input 3 and I renamed it to mic in. And then input 6 is the talkback, which I'm talking to y'all on. So for the leads, we got leads, Ad-Libs, we got Ad-Libs. And for background vocals, we got background vocals. And then for the effects, so I'm gonna bring these next to the leads. I'm gonna bring these next to the Ad-Libs for now. And we're going to do lead vocal delay. So I'm gonna select all of these, hold down Shift and Alt. I use a PC, by the way, so yeah, but you know the equivalents for Mac, you know. And then we're gonna do lead vocal reverb right here. And then here it's gonna be B delay, and then B reverb. And then we're gonna add these sends. It's gonna be lead vocal delay. This pre-fader. Bring that volume up. And we're gonna go lead vocal reverb. And if you hit Alt and click on the volume fader, it automatically resets back to 0. Pre-fader. And then I'm gonna bring the B delay. Ba, 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 ba. And we're going B reverb. I'm loving it. And we're just gonna bring these over here to the backgrounds. Okay, all right. And also, just to note, when I'm recording, I usually just have these sets of backgrounds. But if I'm recording an artist, and usually I know that I'm recording an artist that has a lot of background vocals, but sometimes you don't. I would just select this and duplicate. I'll duplicate all of these tracks and this aux, and I'll just make another aux with, you know, a different, you know, so like I'll make another bus, do this, click this bus, and have another set of background vocals, you know, especially if they're like different octaves or different types of background vocals. Some are high, some are like in a mid register, some are very low. I'll separate them in, like, these will be all the high ones. I'll duplicate all of this and then it'll be all the low ones, and so on and so forth. But usually this is enough for the type of music that I work on most of the time. But sometimes I do duplicate that and have extras. So yeah. All right, so now we're gonna do some routing from the back end. So all of these effects, blah, these effects are going to be sent out to the vocal effects bus. Ad-libs and background vocals, whenever the computer wants to respond, here we go. Ad-libs and background vocals will be sent out to the B vocals. And the lead vocals will be sent to the lead vocals. We shall send the record track to the pre-master. We shall send the beat to the instrumental. We shall send the vocal effects and the B vocals to all the vocals or the vocal bucket. The lead vocals to all of the vocals, and all of the vocals to the pre-master. And lastly, the pre-master, the instrumental to the pre-master. There we go. We all good. We got everything routed up. This is the basic foundation of the entire template. So now let's get to the fun stuff, right? Adding some plugins, getting, plugin chains or vocal chains and all that kind of fun stuff, right? So first things first, the record track. I use the Slate Digital microphone, VMS ML1. So the first thing in my vocal chain will be that to model whatever microphone I desire to use on whatever vocalist, So let me go here. I got a little preset that called Mic Locker 1. Automatically defaults to the FG800, which we know what microphone that models. And then after that, I just put auto tune on the vocal. I got this old version of auto tune, but hey, it still works. So whatever. I like to turn the format on, and I like to adjust this a little bit, like 101 or 99. It just depends on whatever sounds great. And here, this is the default, what it defaults to, obviously, and I adjust it by ear when the artist is singing into it. And obviously, we're gonna turn this low latency on, but we're gonna change the key whenever we know the key of the song, etc. I'm gonna just leave that on C major for now. And I have this bypass though, because every artist is not trying to record with auto-tune, so I don't have it active off rip. And also, if they are using auto-tune, I would just have these settings locked in on here, and then I'll copy the auto-tune over to each track, even on the ad-libs if I'm using it on ad-libs. So that's what we got on the record track. On the beat track, I put some more Slate Digital stuff. I got this beat enhancer preset that I made. I use this to, get a little more top end, a little more clarity on the beat, and I'll, go up in these kind of frequencies, 10K plus ish, and see what kind of gives me a little more clarity on the top end, a little more sizzle, and then I might adjust the presence a little bit, this present and slay a little bit, see which one sounds the best. Sometimes the low end isn't hitting the way I want it to hit, so I might use this to boost that. But a lot of times in a lot of hip hop songs that I record, the low end is doing too much, so I have an EQ after this. 1, 2, 3. One of the best EQs of all time. And yeah, you know, I use this to EQ the beat however I see fit, blah, blah, blah. And that's all I have on the beat. Then we're gonna go to the lead vocal chain. So first thing, usually a de-esser from waves, dial in my frequency, dial in the threshold. Hey, good to go. Second thing, I use this Renaissance EQ to just roll off some low end. High pass, roll off a little low end. That's literally it. Use that to roll off some low end. And then I will come in with a compressor. I usually just use the R compressor because this is just for recording. I got this clean preset that zeroes everything out, and I listen and see which settings sound the best when I turn these on and off, dial in my ratio, threshold, attack, release, etc. And yeah, after that, this is what changes the most. I'll put some saturation on the vocal. Like I might use lo-fi, I might use devil lock, decapitator. I also will use fresh air sometimes saturation knob. But right now I'm just gonna put lo-fi on there, and I'll adjust the bit rate. I'll mess with the saturation and distortion a little bit, maybe even the anti-alias a little bit. But we'll just put lo-fi on there for now. And then the EQ the vocal how I see fit. Maybe add a little top end, maybe cut out some frequencies around here, maybe boost a little 1K or something, maybe boost some 8K or some 2K or whatever, and then a little shelf come through, then boost back a little bit of this body, some of this, just this feeling in the low end. It's just some kind of energy, something down here. It just feels right sometimes, but something like that. I'm gonna bring that back to factory, and then I have another 3 EQ at the end, and I just use this for rolling off some of the low frequencies. Just rolling off just to clean it up a little bit more if I need to. And then I'll put a limiter right before that EQ. Bring that back here. And I'll literally just bring this down. I won't even really be limiting the vocal. It's just something about this to me that it is gain. When I bring this down, the vocal is coming up in volume. But it's just something that makes the vocal, like, I don't even know. It's like a psychoacoustic thing or something, man. I can't even really explain it. It's like a fullness, a presence that I like when I use that. And these other things are more like if I need to do something surgical, but this is just for recording. So while I'm recording, I'm usually not trying to do nothing surgical. And I got a pretty good setup here, and I don't really need to do anything like crazy dramatic to make the stuff sound good. So this is usually enough for me to get what I need to get a good sounding take. So now we're gonna go to the Ad-Libs. Basically, all of this is the same. So I'm just gonna bring this right here so we can bring these plugins over. The only thing I do differently on the Ad-Libs is I add a reverb. I try either room 1 or room 2, but we'll just go room 1 for right now. I'll go about right here. I'll do a little bit of that, and I'll bring this down to like 3 or something. I might mess with the pre-delay a little bit. Might mess with the diffusion a little bit. But it just kind of sits the Ad-Libs in the back a little bit. And then over here, I'll move this down here. And I'll increase this up to say like 6. I might adjust these a little differently too. I might try room 2 or something on here. And then I'll put a H delay. We'll go 132 ping pong, something like that. We'll mess with this, modulation section. We'll take that off analog, and then we'll bring this wet and dryness, say 7. kind of fill it out. But this just gives the background vocals an extra space in the back. You know what I'm saying? Kind of helps me sit the background vocals and the ad-libs a little bit back behind the lead, and everything else the same. You know, just copy these things down, and I dial in the compression and the EQ how I see fit for ad-libs and background vocals, you know, like, yeah, blah, there we go. All right, we're gonna bring these back over here. All right, now we're gonna do what we do on the effects. So on my effects, I like to have this lo-fi on all of them. So let me actually bring this over here. And I like to, this is my starting point usually for the effects. I just move the sample rate over 1. It kind of takes some of the high end off of, well, it definitely takes some of the high end off of the effect, and it helps me to keep high end on the effect, but it does it in a different way than the EQ does, and I like it. But I also mess with the saturation and the sample size and anti-alias and all that kind of stuff too, just because, you know, why not? But yeah, I put that on my effects. Just, you know, put that all the way over here. And then on the doubler, I usually use this, fascinating, I usually use this doubler from Waves. I also sometimes use another plugin, but when I'm recording, this is what I use. I'll change this a little bit, you know, whether it's up or down. One, I'll just adjust these a little bit. I'll move this out further because I like it to be out more. And then I'll adjust these a little, just randomly. This is all random. This is just subtle things that to me makes a difference. And that will be it right there. That'll be my doubler. Then some EQ. I just EQ the doubler how I see fit for the song, you know. Probably a little shelf, some high pass, some low pass, whatever feels right. Maybe taking some of this out, just whatever, you know, whatever feels right. That is my doubler situation. On the delay, we're gonna say this is gonna be a quarter note delay. We're gonna say this is gonna be a slap. These reverbs can be whatever. We're gonna say this is gonna be another quarter note. And yeah, reverb can be whatever. It's gonna be some deverb. All right, so for this delay, also for these effects, I always have an EQ at the end, so I'm just gonna go ahead and copy the EQ all the way on all of these. All right, so this delay, just use basic H delay. Gonna keep this real basic. I flip the phase on one side, and we're gonna turn that to 1/4, turn that down a little bit, turn it off analog. We just gonna randomly do something like, oh goodness, randomly do something like that. Blah, we got our delay. The only thing that I do a little, maybe a little different is I add this mod delay right before it. Because when you flip the phase on the delay and the H delay, and you put this in mono, you won't be able to hear this delay because they're canceling each other out. So I use this, but to me, it's when you flip the phase, the delay is like wider. It's like, it's wider, it feels more spacious, it feels better to me. So I just put this mod delay before, and I just bump these up a little bit, you know, just a little bit, so that the timing of them are off, so you can hear both of them when you put it in mono. And then, you know, I adjust these a little bit also, and that's it. Blah, light work. That's my setup for that. And then this delay 2, gonna be a slap. For this, I'll just usually mono goes to a mono delay, and I'll usually use this EC30, which I think is from McDSP. But if you don't have this, you could. I literally used to use the mod delay or the H delay, and I'll just go, somewhere in this area, mess with the rate and depth a little bit. I might even turn the feedback up a little bit sometimes, and that's it. You got your slap. And then I'll usually bring these together, lock them, so I can just put this a little off center, maybe like 3 to 10, somewhere in this area. But we'll just put it on 3 for now. And actually, because I'm weird, I like for that to be capital tool. And for my reverb, I'm gonna go with True Verb from Waves. I like this reverb preset called Millennium Verb. I have a preset that I made off of this. There we go. This is the only. Oh, did I make that too? Fascinating. But anyway, this is my preset off of Millennium Verb that I just adjusted according to my taste, But this is my starting point. If you go back to Millennium Verb, if I go back to Millennium Verb, see, it's just there's subtle differences, nothing too crazy, how do I do the A-B thing? I don't fucking know how to do that shit. Anyway, there we go. That's the reverb that I use. And again, like on all these effects, I'll mess with the saturation and distortion, but I keep this down a little bit. On the reverb though, on the EQ, also sometimes, this is more so when I'm mixing. And when I'm recording, I might do some creative mixing type stuff while recording. But this is like some basic kind of structural, template-ish type stuff. But I might put some modulation on the reverb or the delay, some flangers or whatever, some other saturation type things on the reverbs or the delays. I might put another delay and another reverb on top of the reverb and the delays. You just get crazy and have a good time, But this is just like basic to get a basic sound. But then I'll usually roll off some low end. I might do a little high shelf. Might even do a little low pass up here. But I usually start off like this. Just keep it like that. And I'm gonna just copy this over to the second reverb also. And I feel like someone's in my eye. But then for this third delay, it's another quarter note delay. So it's just a delay on the ad-libs and the background vocals to give it a little bit of space, a little bit of a vibe. So it's basically gonna be the same thing though. And then for this reverb, I usually just put a deverb on the ad-libs while recording, like very simple, basic stuff. A hall, a room. I do use this room a lot. I turn this decay time up a little bit. I usually don't mess with those too much. I usually mess with this pre-delay some, but I usually put a delay plugin actually before this reverb for the decay time because I don't really like using this pre-delay on this reverb that often. But yeah, I mess with all of these settings and find something that I like. And then we got, our reverb little EQ to start off right there. And that's really the gist. And so we're going to move these over here. So one more thing to note for how I use effects on my lead vocals, I leave the send all the way up in volume on the lead vocals. But on the actual buses, the actual auxes itself where these effects are at, and this is where the lead vocal is being sent to be processed with these effects, I turn this down and I add the doubler to the lead vocal to taste. I add the delay to the lead vocal to taste. The slap, same way to taste. The reverb, same way to taste. That's how I do it for the lead vocals. For the background vocals though, because the ad-libs are being sent here and the background vocals are being sent here, I just do it on the send. So I adjust how much is being sent to this delay that you hear on this. And the reason I do that is because, actually I'm gonna just turn it up a little bit just so you know it's there. The reason I do that is because on the lead vocal, I like to put some compression on these effects to keep them in certain spots, or I like to use some sidechain compression sometimes on the reverb. And if I change the send amount, that is changing how much is being sent to the compressor. If I turn it up, more is being sent to the compressor, so it's compressing more and it's throwing off the balance that I've created. To whereas if I turn this up and down, it's still being compressed the same amount. I'm just literally turning the effect up and down, if that makes sense. On the background vocals type stuff, I usually don't do those kind of things, but if I do, I'll just make a separate one for the ad-libs, and the background vocals will be going to their own thing. They won't be going to the same delays and the same reverbs. Hopefully that makes sense. That's a little advanced-ish, kind of. Not really. I don't really know what's advanced anymore, but yeah, that's basically it right there. And so now over here on these auxes on my vocal effects bus, I just add a little S1 imager because I like to spread the effects out a little bit sometimes. On the B vocals, which is the ad-libs and the background vocals, I like to add a little micro shift. You could also use a chorus, like you could use, where's air chorus modulation? You can use air chorus, you could probably even use air ensemble, probably even use air flanger, you feel me, air phaser, you know, just experiment. Blue Cat's chorus, this June chorus, I used to use this June chorus because it's free. This June 6 chorus is free. Yeah, something like that. And I'll turn the mix down to, you know, somewhere around here-ish. You know, just to focus to what sounds nice. Try which style that sounds nice. Just adjust these subtly if it makes it sound better. Same thing here if it makes it sound better. Just a little extra space on the background vocals. And then I don't really do anything on the lead vocals unless I need to. Sometimes I might need to do some multi-band compression. Sometimes I might need to do some overall EQ. Sometimes some just regular compression, you know. It just depends on what I need, but I just don't put anything on it unless I actually need it. On here I have another EQ that I use for just rolling off some more low end if I need to. Because sometimes just randomly from plugins or from whatever, some more low-end information is built up, and it just kind of cleans up the vocal if you just roll it off a little bit, to me, from my ear. And then here comes a little bit of slight sauce, but not really. I put this virtual mix rack from Slate Digital. I do a little bit of saturation, so I have this channel preset, and I just do a little bit of saturation on, you know, I try whichever one sounds the best to me, mess with the input a little bit, mess with the drive a little bit, and yeah, that's what I have on all of the vocals. And then I have the same thing on the instrumental. I just adjust it a little differently for whatever sounds best for the instrumental. Then I have the same thing on the entire mix. The only thing I do is change it from, oh snap. The only thing I do is change it from the channel to this mix bus, virtual mix bus. And this is here, like if you go to Harmony, it's a VCC channel, VCC mix bus, and you just, you know, bring it in. But I use the mix bus on the mix bus, and I use the channel on the instrumental and on the vocals. And then I adjust it whatever sounds the best, you know. Blah. Also on the pre-master, a little EQ the entire song however, you know, however I hear fit. Compressor, where we got the SSL compressor. I got a little preset just to start out, which is zeroed out, but it's the settings that I like. You know, very slow, the slowest attack on this compressor, the fastest release on this compressor, lowest ratio on this compressor. The threshold is not engaged, but if you have the whole song to a certain volume, it will be like compressing a little bit. But I just want a little bit of compressor, you know, a little bit of compression, nothing too crazy. And then I'll turn this analog off and listen to see what sounds the best. But that's really the most of what's going on there. And then last thing is just a limiter to bring it up to volume, or to like a normal volume level. Sometimes I use the Slate Digital one. You just go ahead and I'll bring this down to -0.2. We'll just go like that. I'll listen to see which one of these sounds the best, and I'll bring the threshold down to, you know, whatever amount of limiting I need to bring the volume up, and I'll mess with the release some also. But we'll bring that back, and that's it. I also put some analyzation type plugins on the master, so I use this Paz analyzer and I put it on RMS just to read the RMS right here. And I look at the phase stuff, but I mostly just listen for phase problems. Sometimes I look at this frequency makeup thing, but while I'm recording, not really. That's mostly for mixing. And then when I am bringing up the volume, I'm using this to look at the RMS to see how much, you know, RMS I have, whatever that, you know, level is. And then I'm using this for LUFS to see what the LUFS is looking like. And that is it. That is literally it. And now I've switched back to this other view. I like to have the beat up a little bit louder than everything else. I mean, not a little bit louder, but a little, like the size of this area larger than everything else. I like to have the input engaged. Oh, big thing. Almost forgot. So the Q mix, this is where the artist, and this is where you guys are hearing everything from. So I want to put these Q sends on the things that they need to be on. So this instrumental needs to be on all the vocals. I'm actually gonna put it on, I'm gonna put it on all the vocals right now. It needs to be on the record track. And honestly, right now, that's really it. So they'll hear everything. So if they don't want to hear their vocal while recording, I could just bypass that and they don't hear anything. If they want their vocal up louder, I can just turn it up. If they want it lower, I can just turn it down. But I will still hear everything, the volume that I want to hear it out here. I'm also gonna put these effects on this recording track, or these sends. So when they talk, they can hear the effects. And that's it. I believe that to be it, you know? Yeah. So now what we're gonna do is save this, and we just gonna bring a beat in, and we're gonna do some real quick blah down. All right, we gonna motherfucking go to YouTube real quick. Let me motherfucking goddamn get my stuff situated. What kind of beat we want to do? What kind of we gonna do some weird stuff. Maybe it's not weird. We're gonna do James Blake type beat. Blah. Listen to the first one. And And we got an ad. Okay, I'm not feeling that beat that much, but so okay, so let me switch to the motherfucking screen. All right, we switched back. This is the James Blake beat. This guy is, but you know, I'm gonna copy this. I'm gonna pull up Media Human. I'm gonna pull up Key Finder, and then this other thing I use FL Studio to make beats, by the way, and Decadence 2. I use this to quickly find the tempo. So I use Media Human. We'll do it later. To download the beat. Okay, guys, okay. And we're gonna bring that up. We go back to the Pro Tools. We're gonna hit Control-Shift-I. Okay. We just go to the drive because I don't know. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Pro Tools. Templates. Recording template. Audio files. Then what I do is I go to, you know, where the file is. I copy that, Control C, paste that, Control V, then just hit enter. This process is a slightly different on the Mac. What the fuck? Here we go. Enter. Use current folder. But you know, it's not too different. And then it's over here in my clips. Just drag that in. Lower that down as far as, you know, how we're looking at it. And the first thing I need to do, I need to put it in these programs so I can find out the tempo. So blow, drag it in there, and move this over here. Blow, drag it in there, run batch analysis. So we got maybe like 110, and we got D major. So we're gonna type 110 right there. Now tempo is 110, tempo is 110, and we're gonna change this to D major in the game. And if you like, you can, you know, come here and go D major. I do that sometimes. Sometimes I just use the auto tune to do it, or sometimes I just literally say D major and just put that right there. But yeah, so now we in there, and now I'm gonna put this in grid mode, and yep, half note. So I'm looking to where this first transient is. And I mean, this seems a little off, but it is James Blake beat, so maybe it's, you know, not on time. But it seems like the closest place where it would go is, what the hell, right here onto this line. So we're gonna just drag that back. Now the silence from the beginning is gone, and we should be good. So the only other thing I'm gonna do now is just turn the volume of this down, and all I do to do that is Shift Windows. I'm basically turning the clip down, and I'm just using the scroll wheel on the mouse. I'm just scrolling down. I usually go from like -8 dB to -10 dB or somewhere in that area. But yeah. Wow, we got the beat in there. So now I'm just gonna, if you want to double check and make sure everything is good, you can pull your click track up, go somewhere where, you know, there's drums. Sounds good to me. Let's go ahead and delete this. And now we are ready to record. So I'm just gonna arm this. I use Shift R, arm the record track to record. And here we go. You know what I'm saying? Control. Wow, we just recorded a slight little intro. I'll drag that down. Blah, record a little more. Drag that down. Clean up the sides. Whatever. Do a little fade. Blah, blah, blah. Keep it going. Blah, record some more stuff. Record some more stuff. Keep it going. Blah, straight like that. You know, that's how you do it. Just keep going top and bottom, blah, blah, blah. And then you see how I created a location right here. So this is when the song starts. All you do is hit enter on your numeric pad and create a location. This is how I signify where the hooks are, and the verses, so I can fly stuff very easily. So right here, it looks like this is where maybe, you know, a hook ends or something ends. Yeah, and then you just keep going like so on and so forth. And then you get all your leads recorded, and you say, the artist's like, hey, I want to do ad-libs. All right, here we go. Just drag this down. Now we're doing ad-libs. Hey, I want to do ad-libs on the hook. Perfect. The hook's right here. So I'm going to just go right here. Ad-libs, blah. Clean that up. You get the idea. So on and so forth. That's how you do it. Also, say you record a take and they don't like it, but you keep everything. I'm always recording. It's always on. You can right click on here. It's always on quick punch mode. So if I press play and I didn't do control spacebar to be recording right when it starts playing, I can just do it while it's playing. You know what I'm saying? I can just control spacebar while it's playing, or hit 3 on the numeric pad, or I think F12 to, let's try F12 and see. So you can do that, and it's recording from when you started playing. So so I can drag this back and it was recording the whole time. You feel me? So that's why I have it on quick punch mode. I have it on loop mode just because I like that for some reason. I don't know. And that's it. And then I want to do background vocals. Drag this down here. You ready to do background vocals? You're good? All right, let's get it. Doing background vocals for the hook. You know, light work. But say they record something, so let's go back up here to where the leads are. So say we're recording the oh, he says, hey man, I didn't like that. Let's do another take. I do Control Shift backslash. I'm lying to you. I do Shift Windows backslash, and then enter, and it just duplicates the playlist. So now down here, that's here, and I can keep that take just in case we need to reference it, or he likes a word out of it, or he or she likes a word out of it, or whatever. For whatever reason, you want to keep everything just in case and record everything just in case. So I have that if I need it. And you just start recording again. Hey man, one more time. Let's do that one more time. All right, cool. Shift Windows, blah. Straight like that. Light work, right? Nothing crazy. That's how you do this thing right here. So yes, that is how I set up my recording template. I know this was maybe kind of long. I'm not really sure how long this was, but I'm gonna chop it up, make it concise as possible. Hopefully this was helpful. If y'all have any questions, comment below. Ask me. We'll do a Twitch stream answering all the questions, or another YouTube video, whatever, whatever works, whatever's clever, you feel me? And yeah, that's all I got.